morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Happy NFL football, man. We're back. I can't believe it. We are back. Very excited. Exciting stuff. We'll see if the Giants start the season off with a loss. Would only be right. What a game tonight as well. Cowboys, Eagles. 8:20 p.m. prime time. Man. Well, we got a game tomorrow too. Chargers, Chiefs. Very exciting. Very exciting. Did Dayball did he announce the starter yet? Or did he? I think he's waiting for game time, right? I think he's waiting. Preparation equals confidence. That's right. That's right. Welcome back, everyone. Good morning, Earthlings. I guess we are Earthlings, huh? 6430. Incredible. That 6430 level has been just, it's been scattered across the last few weeks. It's been an important spot. And yesterday, to end the day, 6430. Man. Missed probably over six-figure day. I didn't, would I have held? Probably not. Did the position that I had go over six figures in profit? Yes. No, to be realistic, would I have held? Probably not. I got 100% and I ran. But what an end-of-day move off 6430. There was a nice bear trap. Once we reclaimed the low of day, it was a rocket ship off of our exact demand level that we had provided in the live stream. So incredible. I'm getting more and more people that come to these live streams that, one, are, seeing the levels and seeing the light. And then I still have some people that just are, I think, don't quite understand what a key level or key demand zone is. So hopefully, as you continue to watch these streams, you'll get it a little bit more. But it seems like some people still don't understand that levels, when they break, that's actually the most important time to be paying attention, right? Levels are meant to be broken. And when they break, that's when key reactions happen. Or when you have big holds of those levels, you have a strong reversal. But continuation only happens when levels break. Reversals happen when levels hold, right? And so they're designed to hold or break. It's depending on the price action and you reacting to those levels. The key is your reaction to those levels. That's how you make the money. The levels are not going to simply make you money. It's your ability to react at those levels that makes you money. So if you suck at reacting to levels, then my levels are not going to make you money. But I can tell you that the levels that we provide are absolutely where the reactions happen on the market. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt because you've seen it all week. 6430, perfect. Yesterday, low a day, 1,000% SPX long to end the day off that level. Did you react properly off of it? That's that's you. That's on you. So that's where you want to improve, right? I want to improve on getting better at reacting at these major levels. That's the key. That's how you make the money. So let's keep practicing, right? Let's keep doing it. Let's keep trying. Right? It's the key is at least you know where it's going to be, right? That's one part of the battle. The next part of the battle is reacting properly at it. So that's going to take some experience, right? That's going to take some experience. So let's get started. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. Hope you have a good day today after we get prepared. Preparation equals confidence. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. So the first thing you're going to see on the bottom tomorrow on the live stream here on YouTube, we are going to start the day with Mr. Carmine Rosado. So we're going to phone him in to the live stream. So you guys that come here on the live stream, we will do a nice preparation for everyone with Carmine. Obviously, from that point, we will move over to our communities, our trading communities. He'll move over to his, and I'll move over to mine, and we have a Zoom together for those members. Now, of course, that Zoom link is private because it's for members only. But if you come to the live stream, we will get a nice preparation with Carmine tomorrow morning. So that's going to be really fun. Make sure to head over. Make sure to just come to the live stream tomorrow. Really, that's all you have to do. Come to the live stream tomorrow. We'll have Carmine on call, and we will be able to get his thought process on the day, and do sort of what we did a couple Tuesdays ago, where we're on the stream together. So that's going to be cool. It's all remote, so we're trying to figure it out how to do it remote, and so we don't need to be like sort of in the same room, so to say. So that'll be tomorrow morning. Yeah. Well, that was loud. How was that so loud? Sorry, my gain went like all the way to the red. So make sure to show up tomorrow. That's it. Moral of the story: make sure to show up to the live stream tomorrow. We'll also have our giveaway tomorrow, so make sure to show up. Make sure to record your attendance down below. And with that said, today is some data. We do have some data. We have unemployment claims. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you real quick. You guys can see right here, unemployment claims. Go get this pulled up right there. Unemployment claims today. Non-farm employment change, 815, 830. If you have the registration, you're good, margin. The max is 1,000, so you just sort of have to get in before the 1,000th person. That's pretty much it. I don't think we'll have 1,000 people in there, margin, because it's not open to the public, so I think we'll be all right. 815, 830, unemployment claims, non-farm. 10 o'clock, ISM services PMI. Friday, tomorrow, average hourly non-farm unemployment claims. Okay. There's your data. The other thing, Joe, appreciate that, Joe. The other thing to pay attention to today is Broadcom earnings after hours. Broadcom earnings after hours is definitely going to be very major for the tech stocks, also for the semiconductors, right? I mean, mostly the semiconductors. So yesterday, SMH pretty much did nothing. It was very quiet. It was very still. Really no action. A lot of underperformance on NVIDIA, right? A lot of underperformance on AMD. Broadcom is going to decide the next move on the semis. So very, very, interesting night to see what the semis do after Broadcom earnings. So that's that. Okay. NASDAQ futures. So yesterday we had NASDAQ futures 23,300 to 23,370. Going over to DesiTA that was provided yesterday for the group, right? One of our main ideas yesterday was a pullback long at 23,300 right here. If you look at this, look for pullbacks between 23,300 and 23,370 demand, and the 50 daily moving average. That was right here at 6:42 a.m. yesterday morning. This was our NASDAQ future analysis, which we also provided on the live stream. You can see yesterday we had not only 23,370 hold earlier in the morning, right here, creating upside. We had 23,300 and the daily 50 hold, creating massive upside. So the pullback long idea into our key demand zone was a very clean idea yesterday and provided opportunity. Now, it was short-lived. It was scalps. It was short-term day trades, which it was very nice. Now, the problem today is you're still in this channel, right? But what do we say about these channels? When you're trading in a channel, the opportunity arises at the key level. And that is nothing short of true from yesterday, right? Where did the opportunity arise yesterday? When you traded into the key level. not in the middle of here, right? In the middle of the channel, not just in the center of nowhere, right? It's when it trades into a key level. So where are you today? You are not at a key level today. You are sitting right at previous day high, which could be a little bit of a key spot, but I really don't like it that much. In my opinion, your key levels today, your key zones to be watching is up here at 23,600 in the daily 20 SMA as a potential failure. And then once again down at 23,370, 23,300 as a potential demand spot. Anything that's not here and not here is going to be just questionable, right? Sincerely, it's going to be questionable. You might get a rejection at previous day high. You might get a hold at previous day high. That's something you can watch today. However, if you break previous day high, guess where you're trading into? You're trading right into this major daily 20 SMA supply, which is also, if you go to the hourly chart, you can see major previous rejections and major previous lows right here. So if you trade up into this level today, right, you probably want to be careful of some kind of a rejection at the daily 20. Now, if you reclaim the daily 20 today and you have a lot of strength and you see a hold back above the 23,600 daily 20 SMA and this zone right here, then guess what? That's likely your next upside move. So, big supply above, major highs right here, major lows right here. Guess what? You are sitting in the exact range of last week, my friends. This is last week's range. Look at where you're trading again. Same exact range. Where were the trades created last week? Shorts off these highs, longs off these lows. Shorts off these highs, longs off these lows. That's the same thing that's happening right now. So, what does this tell me? I need to wait for something to get hit. I need to wait for upside here for potential failures. I need to wait for upside here for potential reclaim rips, right? Or I need to wait for pullback longs. One of the two. Now, if you start slamming calls and puts in the middle of this area, and then you come back and blame me because the levels weren't accurate, that's your own fault. Jason, bro, that circle play on the downside worked big for me yesterday. Yeah, hell yeah. Get you a nice frap. Appreciate that, Jason. I'll get a nice caramel what the hell is it called? Yeah, caramel frappuccino, right? Or a, what's the one with the little chocolate chips in it? I haven't had a frappuccino since I was like in high school, man. Holy crap. It just reminded me of frappuccinos. I used to love those things. What's the one with the little chocolate in it? I forgot what it's called. But thank you, Jason. Golf Nut, appreciate that. Thanks for the 14 months, Golf Nut. Thank you, brother. All right. So, you're right in the center today, guys. Tough read. Really, Java, that's it. The Java chip. Double chocolate chip. Java, it's like the Java chip, right? Something like that. You're right in the center. You got the Mocha Frap. You got a lot of fraps. They still make fraps? I haven't thought about that in years. All right, let's move on. S&P 500. So, yesterday, 64.30. I mean, it couldn't have been better. You pull up the analysis from yesterday, right? One of our game plans yesterday, right here. Look for pullbacks to the 64.30 demand. That was our idea for the potential pullback long to 64.30. And it was either the 64.54 or the 64.30. We failed the 54. We moved into the 30. This was the lows from the overnight session and the highs from Tuesday. And this was a massive, and I mean massive, squeeze to the upside. Incredible. Incredible, incredible, incredible off the 64.30 level yesterday. Now, if we look at this today, you guys can see right here, these are your lows, these are your highs, and these are your lows. 64.54, 64.60, here's your lows right here, here's your highs right here, and that's where I'm watching to see if we can hold today. 64.54 to 64.60. If we can maintain above the daily 20 SMA today, that would be a very, very good long on the S&P. That would be where I'm watching to see if the S&P can hold, right? Look at the daily 20 SMA on the daily chart. It's starting to hold, and it could create that next leg if we can stay strong here. We did just get data at 8:15. Appreciate that, Hamish. So a little bit of action on, not really. Hamish, unemployment claim, or non-farm employment change, 54 versus 73. Wow. Okay. Not much of a market reaction here yet. But for now, this 64.60, this Friday low right here, is going to be very important to me today. Right there. 64.60 low, right here in the daily 20. Going to be very, very important for me today. If we break underneath the 64.55, 64.60, and the daily 20, that would likely bring us back down to the 64.30. Now, the only concern I have here is how straight up this went yesterday. Do we need to maybe bring this back down again, right? Do we need to fill in this straight up move right here? That's a little bit questionable to me. So just a little cautious there. Straight up move yesterday, last night, pretty much end of day. Do we need to see maybe that get given back a little bit and come back to reality? Do we need to fill in some of this straight up? It's possible. The only way that starts is if you break the daily 20. If you break the daily 20 and you see rejections, you'll come back down towards this 30 demand. We'll see what happens at that 60.54 zone. That's going to be very important. Now, to the upside, it's very questionable to the upside for me, guys. It really is. It's just too much of a it's too much of a zone. It's too much of a chop range to really get fully confident, right? Look at what's above us. We are trading up into just a peppered, just nasty area, right? Just a peppered zone of failures and random holds, and like, look at all this. To be honest, I'd like to delete all of these levels, but I will talk to you about why I have these spots on the charts. But you can see, like, failure here, failure here, failure here, hold here, failure there, failure up here, one of them here, a couple here, right? Holds here. Like, it's like there's no fluidity, there's no consistency to what happened within this chop range. And that's just sort of resemblant of a choppy channel, right? You don't get consistent areas, right? You're just sort of bouncing and ping-ponging between generally two major sort of guardrails, but there's not much consistency to it. And so that concerns me to trade back into. It's not a great area to trade back up into when you have to start navigating through these choppy areas, right? Look at this price action. So, right? It's sort of questionable. The area that I'm going to be watching to see if there's some reactions here is this high from Tuesday, right? See this major rejection from Tuesday? That's 64.7250. That you're starting to see failing at, right? Failures at, which is sort of clear. Above that, right, you can see 64.84. These rejections here from the Friday overnight session and the Monday session when the market was closed. Above that, we can see these lows here and these highs here from Friday at 64.91. Right, so you have to watch what happens at these little pivots. See this pivot here, see this double top here, see this high right here. So I'm sort of watching what happens at each one of these levels. Do I think they're major? Not really, but I'm probably not going to want to be long. If I'm long and I see us getting into 84, maybe I take some profits, right? If I'm long and I see us in the 91, maybe I take some profits, right? Just to be cautious at each one of these potential rejection, and rejection spots. So I'm a little bit cautious on the upside here through this pretty questionable zone. Now, the thing that would solidify an upside idea for me today would be if the bulls heavily defend these lows, right? If we pull back today and we get heavily defended in this low, that would be what gives me interest for upside. If we heavily defend this Friday low, if we heavily defend this Wednesday low, if we heavily defend yesterday's highs, and we turn that into a heavy hold with very strong price action out of that zone, then I would get interested in trying to formulate a long off the daily 20 SMA. If that doesn't happen and you fail back under this, then not as interesting to me, all right? And you can see we're sort of failing that 72 spot as we speak, okay? A little bit difficult out there today. A little bit difficult out there today. SPY. So, looking at this SPY, you guys can see the hold of the 640 level was major yesterday. Right here, 640. These lows here, we had our 640 demand stepped up, which was a very nice hold. Today, I'm going to be watching the Friday low a day to the 644 level. If I zoom out here on the hourly chart, you guys can see that this 644 area to this Friday low a day here around 643 was a very major previous low and also a very major previous high here. You can see these holds here, you can see these holds here, and that's the zone that I want to see try to hold today. That would line up with our S&P 500 daily 20 SMA. So I'm really watching to see the key level for me today is this low right here. See this on Friday? That Friday low is 643.14. I would need to see the ES or the SPY defend this Friday low. If you do not defend this area today and really see buyers step up out of this zone, I would be cautious of this market failing back over. All right? I think you really need to see this Friday low become a new low. You don't want to see us fall back under that Friday low and move lower. Right here. This is very important to me today. So that's really the zone that I'm watching. Do we hold that Friday low? That's the question I need to answer, basically. Okay? All right, so we can see on the SPY, right, and on the ES, we are above the daily 20, right? We're holding right above it as we speak. Now, here's the discrepancy of the day, my friends. Here is the discrepancy of the day. And welcome to how this gets even more difficult to read and even more slightly confusing, right? We are under the daily 20 on the QQQ, which is also right into a very potential rejection spot. We have major previous highs here. We have this low that was developed here that created major upside. We have general rejections in this area here, right, up to that 574 area. And you can see that this area right here, if I zoom in, is exactly where all of that takes place. So take a look at this. See this Thursday low and this daily 20? They are both sitting at 572.50. So right now the QQQ is trading right into this low and the daily 20 SMA. That for me is something I would really like to see break to get fully confident today. Right? I would really want to see that QQQ get above that daily 20. That would be like the ultimate confidence booster for long side trades. If you're trading under the daily 20 on the Qs, it sort of taints the confidence a little bit. You get a little bit less confident because you potentially could just be failing. You could just be retesting the daily 20 and turning that into a rejection. Right? And if you go to the daily chart, the last thing that you want to see here as a bull, right? The last thing that you want to see as a bull is a failure below the daily 20. That would be a sign of short-term momentum loss, right? Look at this right here. So every other time as the market's been going higher, it has been holding above the daily 20. Hold, these are all, let me get this. Let me get a blank chart here. Do I get a blank chart somewhere here? No, I do not. Do I? Okay, this is blank enough. Every other time as this market has been going higher, holding the daily 20, holding the daily 20. You got below it, but you reclaimed it. You got below it, but you reclaimed it, right? So you reclaim the daily 20. When you reclaim the daily 20, it's usually a nice move. Reclaim the daily 20, nice little move there. Not quite making a new high, but, you know, that's a little bit interesting as well, right? We're sort of on this head and shoulder formation look. So you're not making that new high on the daily chart yet. But when you see downside come in, it's typically after the market rejects the daily 20, right? So the last time we rejected under the daily 20 was something like right here. Now, I don't think you want to expect to see a huge downside move like that, but it is sort of intriguing to see whether or not the Qs can reclaim this daily 20 SMA. I really think this is an important thing to pay attention to, guys, especially on the daily chart and when you zoom out and think big picture. Can we get back above that daily 20 today? That's going to be a really, really big... It doesn't have to happen today, right? It does not have to happen today. But that is going to be... Where's my levels? That's going to be a very, very important thing that I watch today. Right here. 5-minute chart. You guys can see daily 20 is right here. And you are trading right under it. So, big watch. Big watch. Something to pay attention to, right? Definitely something to pay attention to. To the downside, you have Friday's lows, which could definitely hold strong. And then, of course, you have the 560, 650 from yesterday. So, you could definitely see something like this or this at these major key demands below. Okay. All right. That's going to be that. Let's go to the IWM. IWM is still within the channel that we have been talking about, right? We had these alerts set at 235.40 and these lows at 231. And we said, let's wait for this to break out of this range. Guess what? Yesterday, all day within the range. Nothing. Okay. Pretty much the same thing. Can we get above the range or below? Is that the CPI low? That's right. Is this the, this is CPI, or was this the Meta Microsoft earnings move right here? Was this CPI or was this Meta Microsoft? This was CPI, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Because we had a big upside move to start the day, gave it back, and then ripped later day. I believe that was CPI, right? 812. This was either Meta Microsoft or that was CPI. Who can confirm? 812. Was that CPI? If so, that is the exact, yes, that is the exact low from that day. See this? And then look at this. Very big, right? Very important. We need to reclaim this major low that held here. If we do not, that is a little bit of a little head and shoulder formation, right? So we got to get above that daily 20. We got to get above that 572.50 area. We got to. Definitely important to watch. Bless, appreciate that. Press the like button. IWM, we went over it. Nothing there. SMH, nothing. It's really, I really wouldn't trade. Here's my, I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. And I think I was right by saying this yesterday. I wouldn't trade the semiconductors today. I wouldn't. I said not to trade them yesterday. There really wasn't any opportunity. And I don't think I would trade them again today. You have too much anticipation of Broadcom earnings tomorrow. And I think there's better things to be trading. So semiconductors sort of off the docket until tomorrow, until tonight really. I'm not going to look to trade SMH inside of this zone. I'm going to wait for Broadcom earnings to come out, and then we'll spark it again. Okay? Yeah, Meta is just straight up, and it's actually a very interesting watch today. So I'll talk about that in a second. All right, let's go to Tesla. Tesla. So the 335 level was our watch to see if we could get a long above it yesterday. I don't know how anyone could potentially have longed this and lost money yesterday. It's like we were looking for 335 to hold, and within the first millisecond of the market, it failed. So it's over. The trade idea is done, right? This is what, I mean, most of you normal people understand this, but a lot of the idiots out there, they don't understand this, right? You could look for, hey, I want to look to see if 335 holds today. If it does, I want to look for that opportunity to the upside. Okay? Great. We step into the day with that game plan. Market opens. Ding, 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 ding. Right? Tesla smacks straight down off 335. Guess what? Don't trade it. The trade idea didn't work. Move on. Right? That's it. It's over. Guess what? Later in the day, when you reclaimed 335 and held it, what did it do? It went straight up to 343, which was our exact sort of target up there around the 340. Right? Our target was 340 yesterday. There it is, right? When it actually held and confirmed above it. Can you believe it? Right? Can you, I mean, it's like, it makes no sense. It really, I mean, it just shows you who will be profitable as a trader and who will not. And you know, that's simply what it is. So if you can learn the right way, then I think you can trade. But a lot of people are they're just sort of brain dead, to be honest. 335, right? You have to see that. You have to see your key level turn into support. You have to see it hold. You have to let it you have to visualize a hold there. You don't anticipate that it's going to happen. So our game plan was 335 holds. Guess what? It didn't happen in the morning. It went straight down to where? The daily 200. Ripped off that after reclaiming 335. Beautiful opportunity. Made $8,000 on Tesla yesterday. Beautiful, right? And I want to show you something. And I know that person, and you know what? This is a little petty, but you know what? I like to do it. So bear with me here. I like to get petty from time to time. So I'm going to get petty with you today. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Eunice. Appreciate that, Eunice. Appreciate that. Sometimes I like being this way. Not all the time, but sometimes. Here's my report from yesterday. Let's run it again. Statements. All right, this is for the person that commented on the live stream yesterday that said, what a fraud. He's going to say he made money on Tesla because his levels were wrong. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's go to yesterday. Daily, yesterday. Let's run it. Here's my report from yesterday. Let's open it up. And right here on Tesla 340 calls, I made $14,000. Now, I'm not going to lie. I took some losses as well, right? I took some losses as well yesterday. You can see them. They're there. There's some losses as well. But guess what? I made $5,400, and I made $14,000 longing Tesla off the ideas that we had in this live stream. Right there. Easy. On the live stream. Done. So lock in and stop complaining online about other people. All right. Let's continue. Had to do it. Sorry about that. I know it's unnecessary, but I had to do it. 335 today. Look to see if that holds. Look to see if 335 turns into a support. If it does, that could be a nice little demand hold. Nice little pullback long to be watching today. The upside target would be previous day highs around that 343. And then if you move above that, 348, 350. Right? So keeping an eye on that. 335, 343, 350. Keep an eye on that today. Okay. NVIDIA, not interested today. SMH and Broadcom are going to be probably pretty pinned today because of earnings after hours. So watching that, watching to see if we break this low, but not too interested. AMD losing strength today. Maybe some interest. Again, a little bit cautious with Broadcom earnings overnight. If you break this major daily low around that 156.50, then maybe we could get something, right? And sort of trade this back lower into that 150 area. So I'm going to set an alert at these lows. But without that, I'm not going to get sort of chopped up in this area. Under 156.50, I'll look to see if that continues. All right, that's really it for the semis. Now, let's move on to the stocks that are interesting today. Number one, Meta. Meta, the Zuckerberg. The Zuck has been quiet. He's been quiet, the Zuck. And there might be a moment where he, gets loud again. And that looks like it could be coming soon. Now, why is this interesting? Because Meta pulled back to these previous highs, right? It pulled back to these previous highs. And it just found a very strong bounce after filling majority of this gap, right? You had a nice pullback, right? Nice pullback, nice pullback, nice pullback into that previous high. And that was the level that needed to break, right? We had this level marked as short below for gap fill. This was like the level that I needed to see break to then initiate a short entry. Guess what? It's the level that held that initiated a straight up move. So that is meaningful, right? That's meaningful that the level that needed to break said, no, 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 I'm not breaking, right? And the bulls stepped up aggressively. So I am very intrigued by this on Meta today. Now, Meta, guess what? It's still in the channel. So it's not like, hey, I'm going to just slam longs at the open. That's not the game plan. That's some people's game plan. But what I'm looking for is a break and hold above the daily 20 here. If we can break and hold above the daily 20 here, above these previous 4-hour highs, that would be an incredible watch on Meta today. That's definitely something I'm watching. So Meta, one of my top watches. Amazon. I mean, unbelievable. I was long Amazon yesterday looking for the gap fill, and it looked so good over previous day high. This looked like a great setup. Really nice hold, nice little flag, was long, was able to take profits into this push, but did not take enough profits and then ended up losing on this pullback. It was a really nice look, and Amazon, for whatever reason, just couldn't get the momentum going yesterday intraday. But guess what? In classic fashion, it goes up straight up in the after hours. So, you know, something you've seen 1,000 times. If you guys are a trader, if you're a real trader and you're, you know, been through the ringer, you know how this always works, right? You take a nice trade intraday. It doesn't work intraday, and then you sort of pop into the charts around 6 o'clock at night, and you see the exact move going straight up, and you didn't have the position anymore, right? So classic, you know, stock market movement there. Amazon is ripping in the after hours and the pre-market. The only trade for me today would be a pullback long to 229, 230. That's really the only trade I'm looking for. I really need that to happen right here. These lows, these highs, and these lows here. I would love to see Amazon pull back to this area, 229, 230, and provide me a long opportunity. That would really be the trade that I'd love to catch today, right here. Pull back to this high, these lows, give me an entry point around 229, 230. If I can get that, then I would look for the upside continuation back into this 232, which is a potential rejection point, and then above that, you're going 234. If you go out to the 4-hour chart here, 234 is definitely a real target here, and over 234, come on, man. Over 234, there's not much left, guys. Over 234, there is not much left into 240. So, definitely eyes on Amazon today. Google. Google had a little bit of an obnoxious run higher, probably too much for this stock, and I would be intrigued if the market was weak, if there was some downside to be had here. Google is failing back under 230, which is failing back under the high from this data move, right? That move that we got straight up on data stalled out at 230. Now you can see it's starting to turn into a failure. If Google heavily fails 230 today, I think you could trade back down to that 226. We'll see what the market looks like. If the market's ripping, guess what? If the market's ripping, let's make this make sense to all of you out there that need a little bit of help understanding this. If the market is ripping straight to the upside, you're not going to short Google 230, okay? That's not a game plan. If the market is going down and showing weakness, then you could look to see if Google fails with the market off this 230 level. You have to trade with the market. So if the market rips today out of the gates, I'm not going to be slamming puts on Google off 230. That makes no sense. So I need to see market weakness off 230 and I need to see market weakness alongside the 230 fails. That's going to be something I look for. Google, Meta are definitely the top two. Google, Meta, Amazon, top three. Apple, nice hold yesterday, but still failing this 239.50 high, so I have an alert there. Netflix is getting sort of interesting. If you go to the daily chart, we've had a time correction on Netflix. What has Netflix done the last 2 times that the daily 100 SMA has caught up to price action? It's really not rocket science. Look at what happened when the daily 100 got close to price action. Straight up. Look at what happened now. Look at what could happen now as the market goes straight up, or as Netflix, as the 100 SMA catches up to Netflix. Right there. Right? Look at this. Right here? Question mark? I'd say that's a possibility. This is a time correction. Netflix has traded sideways for over a month now as the daily 100 SMA has caught up to price action. This is very interesting. I would be watching this today. Thank you for walking through the test trade. Thought you ignored a key level completely when action broke through it earlier today. Jorge, appreciate that, brother. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but appreciate that. Thanks for the donation. Right here, 1200, daily 100. Keep an eye on that today. Honestly, keep an eye on that over the next few days to next few weeks. Margin, Apple, not much for me on Apple margin. Really, I think you just got to get over this 239.50, man. It's either there or you pick up longs at 235. That's really it. Circle, the shitter, looking for some downside again on this one, possibly. It's rejecting the must reject level. It's rejecting exactly where it could really fall from. See these highs right here? See all these highs back here on the 4 hour? See this volatile channel it was trading in? Look at this. Look at that. That is very interesting. That is very interesting. 120, 120.50. Very interesting on Circle today. Looking to see if that fails. Definitely eyes on. Last one I'm going to go over today is Home Depot. And I know we haven't talked about Home Depot in a long time, but guess what? It's getting interesting. Look at Home Depot here. Look at the daily chart. See these major lows? See these major lows? See these major highs? Take a look at this. It's starting to hold right there at 400. Right here, right here, right here. Look at this right here. And look at what else is coming up. Daily 20 SMA. This could be a nice little move on Home Depot. I would be watching HD. Let's see what HD is up to today. Nice little daily 20 curl here. Nice little flashbang. Nice little pullback, right? I would be watching this. Eyes on HD. Honestly, eyes on XLY. As XLY is pretty strong this morning. It's actually very strong this morning. Consumer discretionary is very strong this morning. Right off the daily 20. Largest sectors in the XLY. If you go here, type in XLY. Largest names in XLY. Number 1, Amazon. Obviously, Amazon's leading the charge. But Home Depot is the 3rd largest in the XLY. So if that sector's strong, Home Depot, Tesla, Amazon, McDonald's, Booking.com, TJX, Lowe's, Starbucks, all very interesting consumer discretionary names. And even TJX was one that we talked about. And if you guys remember, take a look at this. We talked about TJX. We talked about the consumer discretionary. On a Sunday prep video 2 weeks ago, I told you to watch the XLY. Look at TJX. We had this trade in that Sunday prep. Look at what it's done. Pullback, gap fill, daily 20, starting to go. So, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. All right, guys. That's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of spice to today's live stream. But it's necessary. We got to put people in their place when they come for someone that, there's plenty of other people online to go after, right, man? Go after the scummy people online that don't show anything. You come after me, I'll put you in your place. So, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Hope you enjoyed the analysis. Hope you enjoyed the real trading. And I will see you tomorrow with Carmine Rosado as a guest on the live stream. Make sure to show up. All you got to do is wake up. See you later.